window.
Yes, sir. All right. Yeah, boys, ready?
Yeah.
Yo,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Pleasant, good afternoon, everybody. You already know. It's your boy. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Pleasant, good
oh,
afternoon.
my
We got
apologies, Captain.
ourselves. No problem. No problem. It is your boy, Kefren, better known on this podcast as MindHack Sack.
Mhm.
We got ourselves.
Jesus
No problem.
Christ.
And of course, with me, my dog, them,
Yes, sir.
starting with the Hanson, resident Echoa.
Bless up.
And of course, we get KJ Howe on the ones and twos. One of those, one of those.
Hmm.
Welcome back to another episode of Mind Hack Moments, where we empower you with the tools to nurture your inner well being, forge self mastery, and build robust connection with others. So, for this episode, we are going to talk about yet another tool that I like to utilize. I've actually been talking about this tool all week, right? But we're going to double back a little bit. So, I remember the wheel of life, right?
Yeah.
Where you have a list of areas in your life that you can talk about or kind of gauge your level of satisfaction or even dissatisfaction in those areas. It's
Hmm.
a great tool because it allows you to visualize exactly where your enjoyment or just level of fulfillment is in those different areas of your life compared to an idea of where you would like to be, right? Because everybody might want to have that circle maximized, tens all around. But then you might see you got five here in career, you got three here in money, finances, you got six in relationship, things like that. And so it gives way to exploring a next step. How can we begin to take action on improving that satisfaction, right?
Hmm.
We do that by goal setting, taking action, and doing it. But it's also very important in when you embark on those initiatives or projects, even that you understand on a full range what your personal stats are as you begin to embark on that journey. And
Okay.
that's where the SWOT analysis to come in, right? Now,
Hmm.
a SWOT analysis for any of my business minded folks, one of the first things that you might say is, wait, man, this is something for our organization. And you would be correct, my astute listeners and fellows right here. But the good thing about a SWOT analysis, and really anything that you decide to do, is that it has multiple uses, whether somebody figure it out for you or whether you innovate it yourself. And a SWOT analysis can absolutely be used just as effectively for individuals as it can for an organization, right? Because a SWOT analysis, it literally stands for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And it is a way to help you identify those 4 areas to contribute to helping you cross the bridge between where you are and where you want to be for whether it's a business plan, whether it's your personal objective, or even a small project that you're dealing with. You check it out.
Yeah.
It's a really, really good thing with that.
Have you ever used it?
Absolutely.
What about for a personal situation or circumstance?
Oh, yeah. In fact, I did it for one of my own projects just recently, right? Making a website.
Crash.
For making a website, right?
Okay.
Because that's the thing that we want to really lock in with when it comes to the SWOT analysis. You want to make it relevant or targeted to a specific thing that you're doing. And what that means is that you could have several SWOT analyses for a wide variety of situations, right? Because even though as humans, we are relatively stable, we're also quite diverse. And those strengths, weaknesses, and opportunities and threats would look different depending on where we are. And they could also look similarly. It all depends on the situation. So I'll take this time to walk through my own SWOT analysis using that objective. The goal is to make a website, right? Because I want to have a hub to store all of my stuff, whether it's advertising my services, showcasing my resources, selling my products, all of that stuff, right?
Oh, yeah.
That is the specific goal.
Yeah.
My strengths deal with the things that will help you advance that project. You check anything that helps you to close the distance between you and accomplishing that project. So my strength, 3 things that I came up with is I'm pretty good at articulating myself. So when I begin writing different stuff for my packages and advertisements, it can look really good. I'm able to conceptualize what exactly I want out of the website in my mind. And I also have friends like you guys that I can easily access for assistance, right? And communicate with. You check. These are strengths. Like that last one, especially, it could be a little more external, but like just due to my personality, I would like to believe that it enables me to access you guys and really like just anybody in general easier than somebody who might be a scumbag, for example.
Yeah.
Check it out. Weaknesses, right? The weaknesses are internal aspects that you have control over that can either hinder your advancement to that project or harm it, right? Because it might be something that you're like a general shortcoming that you're not good enough at yet. Or it could also be actions that directly get in the way of you accomplishing that project. Biggest weakness for me is, interestingly enough, folks, I do not have a lot of patience when it comes to sorting pieces of technology. It pisses me off very easily when I am trying to do something with black on these websites and I have no idea what's going on. And I am very quick to just leave the laptop where it is or distract myself and not actually get any work done on this website. And I also tend to overthink a lot. So even though I am able to come up with a lot of ideas, when it comes to converting them and committing to a specific decision, it takes me a lot longer than normal to actually come to that decision and stick with it.
This is why
And
you're not
so,
enjoying yourself, my boy. You ain't even gonna lie. I thought you, I thought you were like, you know
I
what,
know
this
eh,
is
I know this
cool.
man pulling his hair out. I watching other man, I can see. I try how I listening to you talk the man through the thing and okay, and I just like this man is about to blow. Like any minute he is about to lose his shit, flip that table and flip the fucking laptop with it and just start kicking shit down. And then Nigeria gonna call us like, why you do to my husband? And I'll be like, your husband I was being crazy fam. You just finally getting to see it. That's yeah. We just,
yeah,
you know what I mean? A little over the edge. But nah, I fully understand. Uh and it makes sense when you put it in that case because I would say actually that's one of the first times I ever saw like a true weak spot in you. That's why it was so great. It was so fun and it was so amazing. Like, and I had a blast. I just want to let you know, I had an
you
amazing
did.
time. Yes, I sure did, and I just don't want you to think that like I felt sad at all. Like there was no sadness in me. I had a great time watching you struggle. I had a tremendous time watching you get frustrated. I had even a better time watching KJ think that this is a great thing that's happening, and he's trying to explain to you like where to go and what to do, and you are just like sucking your teeth in your head. But I could see you like just remaining professional and I saying to myself, I don't know why the fuck this man remaining so professional with us. I'd have done tell my partner them, look, listen, when I have mother scumbag do this for me, because me not fuck with her. Yeah, I supposed to be my boy. I get me here struggling at me doing this fuck. I know how to do this fuck. I need to do this fuck for me that I catch her you back on something else or something. I pay her back in a different way. Why I'm just gonna need to do this. And I just watching you try your best, until after a while I look over and I realize these man ain't gonna make it out of this situation. So I can just do it, man. I can just do it. But I had to like watch the struggle for a while, and it was like it was so like joyful. It brings so much happiness to my heart, dog. Like I can't tell you that. Like even when I tell you, hey,
All I
click
gotta
the
say is
X,
wow with
and
a
you're
lot
like,
of W's.
this X,
Wow.
there's no other X's on top of the screen. So I was just like, this is the first time I watching my partner, and he is totally incompetent and illiterate. And this is great because I am expertise in this environment. This is my domain.
You
That's
got
all I
one
was
there.
saying.
You got one up
I was
there.
thinking of it.
You got one
Yeah, I was
up.
thinking of it. Yeah, man, I had a one up. I was thinking of it. Like all the times when we talking about emotional intelligence, and he just like breaking things down and just like know your answer. Like that's not like my guy. You're gonna be stuck in the same spot forever. I just gotta listen to him. Spew his you know helpful shit. And I finally in a position where I like, nigga, you slow. Come to me. Come to me. I have the power. Leverage is now here. Leverage is now here. And I love leverage. Come, leverage. Come.
This
Yeah.
guy.
So
So yes, right. This is because it's a very ongoing process, right? The top half of the SWOT is primarily internal, right? Because these are things that are within your control and things that you personally can change. Because it has to do with like your behaviors and mindset or thoughts or even feelings or experiences or what you do with those feelings.
mhm,
The bottom half, the art, deals with the opportunities and threats. These are external factors that when your strengths and weaknesses come into contact with them, they can either cause future benefit or future challenges. And with that situation, right, the opportunities, remember, for my goal, I built in a website to put together a central hub for all of my stuff to be visible. The opportunity can range from greater visibility, more traffic knowing exactly where they need to go, more clients being brought in than what I would have now in all different sides, more readers for things that I'm putting out, more listeners for the podcast, right? All of these things because I have a central area that I point stuff in.
Yeah.
When it comes to the threats, right? These are the things that can happen as a result of my weaknesses, right? Because with the opportunities, those things would result from like my strengths, right?
Mhm.
My analytical prowess, my ability to like conceptualize things easy, and the resources that I have can all help make those things happen. The threats, because of my lack of patience with certain parts of this, which involve every part of making the website,
Mhm.
it absolutely has delayed my progress in finalizing something to put out to everybody, right? And the threats are things that I've probably already experienced, really and truly, right? And of course, we're gonna plug in your hand, say once again, real quick, right? He is who built the website for me. He set up the whole foundation, really dub it up for your boy, right? Get at that guy real quick. Check. He set up everything. All I really needed to do was just curate it to how I would word things. And even that has presented a problem. So much so that my lack of patience and overthinking has resulted in a tangible delay of me just launching this website for, I want to say, a year and a half. A year and a half worth of opportunity for me to tap into clients
Mhm.
because our website building process pissed me off. You check it out. So that's a pretty easy framework that you could like look at, right? In the same way how when you're looking at your picture in for the wheel of life, where you seeing how you are able to kind of move on certain things because you're able to see the gap between where you are and where you want to be. The
Mhm.
SWOT analysis provides similarly, and you can then begin to ask yourself some questions as you begin to take action. How can I use my strengths to supplement my weaknesses? Or how can I nurture my weaknesses to where they are less of a weakness or even eventually become a strength? How can I convert it? How can I use my opportunities to help propel even my strengths? All of this stuff is like a revolving funnel, right? How can I honor the threats that I have to create some motion to help me move away from them?
Mhm.
You check it
Nah,
out.
yeah, nah, that's a good good response. I want to do a quick segue. I just
Yeah,
want to big up to everybody in the chat. Want to tell
yeah,
thanks
man.
for being here. Zesa, I see you inside the chat. Big Fridge, see you inside the chat. I know you get some very prominent businesses. Yeah, so I hope you do chime in a little bit inside of this conversation here today because it is very helpful, you know, and it is very how to say advantageous to really have like SWOT analysis against yourself or against what you like something that you're trying to do or something that you're trying to enhance. Kefren, you mind if I give my spiel on the SWOT analysis as to
Absolutely.
how? Okay, cool, amazing. So the SWOT analysis, I also took that and framed that against my business as well, my website and business, as well as my books. Actually, let me tell you how I frame it against my books. Don't talk to I about my websites too much. I'll tell I how I frame it against my books. So when it came to my books, some of my strengths was very easy. I'm a storyteller, a orator, so I could talk very well, speak very well, write decent enough. Get whatever I need down. Ideas come to me. I feel like sometimes I still have the mindset or the brain of a child sometimes, because I still like cartoons, so I could relate to kids in different areas. You know what I mean? In terms of the creative aspect. Don't worry about coming late, man. You're right on time. Some of my weaknesses, however, was the artistic aspect of it. In terms of like being an illustrator was one of the weaknesses. The overhead expense, because that's things that we also don't take into consideration. Like having an overhead expense is a weakness, especially when your overhead expense is more than your profitability. You know what I'm
Really?
saying?
Didn't even think of that.
Hell yeah, that's a weakness. That's why, like, yeah, I push this towards my situation very, very stringently, you know. So that was a major weakness. I know a weakness, and it was harmful because I saw it the first time when I launched my first self-published book, and then I make a lot of this money, and because my understanding of finances was weak. That was a weak side of me. My understanding of finances. I took the money, I put it into an animation. Then when I do the animation, I didn't have the YouTube monetized. I didn't have a lot of things ready to re, remake back or create a return on investment of that money that I was investing back into like the whole product of the books and the whole product of, the stories and stuff like that. So that's when I actually started to push the SWOT analysis against myself and towards myself. And I had to take like a break for the most part. I had to take a little break, and I had to really like really sit down and think through things. And then listen to KJ for about a year and some change. Tell me, when you gonna pour out the books? When you gonna pour out the books? You're supposed to have 5 books out by now. When you gonna pour out the books? So you know what I mean? Give thanks to my partner for always, you know what I mean, poking me with a knife. But yeah, and then the opportunities I start to see once I start to put this into play is that I had the opportunity to become an illustrator. I had the opportunity to actually market the book on a bigger level than I was thinking if I was willing to make smaller sacrifices. So I had to tell myself what's more important, because when it comes to this book thing, I don't aspire to become rich from it. I aspire to make an impact with it. This is like my passion. You know what I'm saying? So if finance is not like a major thing when it comes to this part of my purpose in life, then I should not hold that as a major thing, but I should not also have it as a weakness. It shouldn't be a weakness. I need to find a way to use it and balance it out and make it become either an opportunity to say I gonna make a small sacrifice so I can make a bigger impact, or you know what I'm saying, I have a bigger impact. I gonna use that as an opportunity to make more money with finances. So it was like that's one of those things I could play with. Why I ain't gonna play with is my impact. You know what I'm saying? Some of the threats that was just naturally there. The threats that was naturally there was you being on your own, because when you're doing book publishing and when you're doing books and you're publishing as a self-author, you don't have a big engine behind you. You know what I'm saying? But that threat is also an opportunity. That's why they are right next to one another. They're right next to one another because a lot of the things that you think could be threats are also opportunities for you to prepare yourself for it, or to move it out of the way, or to challenge it up front in a productive manner, not just to like blow it off, or like kind of like what Kefren do, just get impatient and just straight on the side. It's that moment for you to kind of challenge yourself and fight forward through it. And this could happen to anybody because it happened to me. I stopped for a year, but I didn't start training to become an illustrator until like 4 months in. Most of the time, I was just visioning myself doing it, watching different videos on the side every once in a while, and visioning myself doing it, watching my daughter do her own drawings and feel proud of it. And I looking at it like, hey, yo, what the you know what I'm saying? But she totally happy over it. So I happy over it. I like, yeah, I think it's great. You use some great colors, da 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 da. And she like, yeah, this is why I do that, da 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 da. And I like, she have her own mojo going, and I allowing non-visible threats to stop me from moving forward. So your mind is also a threat. The way how you see yourself. We talked about that a few episodes back with the people in the room. between how many people inside of the room are on the positive side and the negative side, and you shifting it everything to the positive side. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of the time your threats gonna come from your mind, but you have to turn those threats into opportunities. You have to pursue them. You know what I'm saying? Just because you don't understand something or you don't know how to do something, that don't mean you cannot do it. That's the difference between a threat and an opportunity. The difference is understanding that a threat, you know what I'm saying, is just you saying, okay, this is something I don't have yet, or this is something that's not in my control right now, or this is something that I might not be able to beat without a certain asset or a certain resource or a certain knowledge. Your opportunities to go out and get those things and acquire those things and build yourself so you could constantly become that. Now, I am currently pushing this same SWOT analysis against myself again to become an animator. And I've started the process a lot stronger than the first time becoming an illustrator because I now have a little bit of confidence in my hand and my drawing tools and my skills. So it's pushing it forward. And once you start to utilize this process in a manner and you understand it very well, you can apply it to your personal life, you can apply it to relationships, you can apply it to, you know, anything, school, work, all
Yep.
of those things.
Nothing is off limits.
Nothing is off limits. Yes, I Jabari. Don't know. My boy Tree Dog. Always, you know what I mean? Give the
Shooter.
idea. Shooter. Big ups. But yeah. Yeah, man. So one of the things I didn't really hear you touch on too much, Kev, with the SWOT analysis. And actually, you wanna know what, KJ, you don't talk enough. How would you apply the SWOT analysis to any of your task at hand or anything that you have going on? Or in your mind, you don't apply it, you just bad like that for.
No, I apply it. I mean, I know my strengths. I am creative. I have an eye for certain things.
Mhm,
Um, because I'm a graphic designer, web developer, all that
mhm,
sort. Um, yeah, I just basically, for me, I've been getting more of the, like if friends, family come to me, it's really to just get my vision on certain things to see if if they're going in the right direction, and I could say like that has proven to be one of my strengths, just like my eye for things, keep things clean and organized when it comes to like designs and what's not.
mhm.
Weaknesses, I could say those would be probably my because I don't know if I should say like a perfectionist in a sense when it comes to
Yes, you are.
designs.
You know what
It's
happened to
where
this man?
You know what happened to this man? This man
it's
trying to pretend.
it's
Don't fucking
where
pretend with me.
it's where um the help that I could have gotten already, it's still like in limbo in the process of working because again I take my work serious to a certain extent. So when it comes to now, we had a time where a lot of people used to contact me and try and get designs done. Weaknesses is like well, slow down. I can't really deliver that much because it's only me. But whenever I overcome okay, I find a standard that can still work, then the influx of additional clients and what's not could come into play. But overall, I feel like that's the main just being able to find a balance and find the the missing pieces to help navigate and help assist with client jobs and those type of things. Opportunities, I had a lot of opportunities. You know, it's a lot of NDAs, but
Pop your shit, pop your shit, pop your shit.
I had a lot of NDAs, but and if you don't know what's an NDA, non-disclosure agreement, um,
Meaning we can't talk about it, we could just make money from it.
yeah. So I've gotten the opportunities to for different organizations and different areas where I can utilize my service, and you know, they come to me and they see what I've been doing, and the work pays off. So all this time opportunities, and that also happened because at the end of the day, when I took the entrepreneurship journey, took it serious in terms of learning about business and you know getting my LLC, creating my business bank account, doing all those um, main like steps to put yourself in a good position to get these type of opportunities.
Yeah.
Threats would always be um, competition, other people that's doing the same thing that you're doing, because nobody is the first to do what they're doing, so you just have
Mhm.
to find ways to be different, be unique, um and overall, like I said, like you said, trust could be weakness. At the end of the day, I still learn from my competition, what they doing that I ain't doing, how they getting successful from what because I don't want to see like somebody doing the same thing that me and making more and already established as something bad. Okay, let me see what they're doing. Let me figure out a system in terms of like, okay, I could at least grab this aspect of what they're doing and then implement
Mhm.
it in my own way and move forward with that. But that's basically how I do overall apply it to myself.
Yeah. Nah, that's dope. That's
Great stuff.
360. It's 360. Facts. So Kev,
Yep.
big dog. So we
Yeah.
went through the SWOT analysis, the strengths, the weaknesses, the opportunities. Chat kind of a bit slow today. I was expecting it to be a little bit more booming because I know you have a lot of people in here that have ideas, have businesses, and have those type of things. So I was expecting a little bit more questions, but it's okay. Ain't everybody like what I say. A lot of people might have NDAs just like KG. You know what I'm saying? So ain't everybody trying to talk about their business like that. But um, I also see some other information around the SWOT analysis that's like helpful, harmful, external origin, internal origin. You want to kind of expound on that for us a little bit?
Yeah. So that what that is pertaining to is like the grid, because usually like when you see different like tools that are being offered and they're expressed in like that coordinate plane style, they are created based off of like the axis that it's on. So on one axis, it has like to what degree is this helpful
Hmm.
and to what degree is it harmful. So on the helpful side, that's where you have the strengths and the opportunities, and then the harmful is the weaknesses and the threats. And
Hmm.
then for the internal origin and the external origin, that's what we're talking about earlier when it comes to like who is in control of it, right? So your strengths and weaknesses are on that internal origin because that they're coming out of you. It's starting with you, pertaining to your behaviors, your thoughts, your feelings, how you respond to them, how you ultimately deal with your experiences, your personality, right? Your style. All of those things start with you. And then the external origin deals with the things that are out of your control, that are in your environment that can impact you in some way, especially when your internal origin comes into contact with it. That's where the opportunities and the threats come in, right?
Hmm.
You get some kind of offer with this thing, you get some kind of collaboration with somebody else, right? The market effects, running your business over, causing a downsize in some kind of area, right? Things like that, competition, all of these things are examples of that, right? Even some outcomes, right?
Hmm.
Because like going back to my website thing, those are external origins, because as much as I could perform and do my actions, people still have to buy into it for whatever reason or place they coming from to then come to that. That's like the outcome, and I can't directly control that. I
Yeah.
can do as best as I can, but it's still up to them to ultimately decide or feel attracted enough to what I putting out to come forward to it. You check. So that's basically what they're talking about, and that's where it came with. like the different plots.
Nice. And that kind of
So
makes sense because when you do look at the grid and you look at the way how it goes, the colors actually blend to the outside if you look at the color palette. So based on the
mm,
two colors, if you go straight across, you kind of get that blend of like I think it was a blue or like a light blue of some sort. You know what I mean? Blending pretty much like that pink and that blue, I believe it was.
Hmm.
So yeah,
mm,
because those things are external. Between your opportunities and your threats are external. So it makes sense. And I really like that tool. You know what I'm saying? And I use that tool a lot. Prop for me is almost like a process of elimination or just a process in itself. When I looking at anything, I trying to look at where I strong at, and then I trying to look at what I need to do, and then I also looking at like what my problems gonna be when I start moving, like what gonna arise, which is your threats, and then I looking at how I could change all of those things into opportunities, how I could make this air work, how I could change the trajectory of my threats, how I can change the trajectory of my weaknesses. So it's a real tough thing at the first time, like your first time walking it into your life. It could be tough, but the more you understand how to use it, is the better you can use it. I would say the only place I struggle to utilize it, like to an exceptional level, is like in relationships.
valid, right? And that ties right into like my next message, right? In order for this thing to be like really good, it's very important that you dial your self-awareness and self-regulation up to different levels past what you might normally do. And it the more emotionally charged the topic might be or tends to be, the harder it could be to get at the do. You check. So a relationship, especially if we're talking about something of the romantic variety, that is naturally harder to do than if you're doing your business because
Mm-hmm,
the emotional attachment is not as there, right? It's
mm-hmm,
it's it can be very difficult for us to come clean in our entirety about especially like our weaknesses and
yeah.
even coming to terms with potential threats, right?
Mm-hmm,
We ain't want to see that there all day. We ain't want to see that there at all. We don't mind seeing it for like a business because hey, we get all kind of other ways to like try to get money to get coin and all of that stuff. But
yeah.
like it's a different kind of like
Attachment.
yeah to do that there with your relationships, romantic and even friendship, dog. To like
Nah, I walk that fucking
some
friendship.
hey, that's great for you, right? I am very proud of you for being able to do that there. But I know so much man that they ain't thinking. And I say man, but I mean everybody, right?
Mm-hmm,
Again, going back to social media, when it comes to any kind of topic of relationship, what is one of the most common things we just see where people attributing non-success in some kind of relationship
mm-hmm,
to everybody else but themselves. I protecting my peace. I cutting you off. I ain't get no time for this. You need to reciprocate to me. All of that. Every last one of them things have something to do with what somebody else ain't doing right, dog.
mm-hmm.
Ain't never really focusing on your personal weaknesses, your shortcomings, quite frankly, where you are full of shit
Yeah.
in that situation, right? Because it's not
Mm-hmm,
just a relationship is compound, it ain't just the other person that it is the
yeah.
other person, it is you, and it is also the way in which you all interact with each other. That's three different things that, right?
That's
This is a
crazy.
systems holistic approach, right? Not only is this thing the greater than the sum of its parts, but it
Mm-hmm,
also is apart from the sum of its parts, that you
mm,
check it out. So like we have to be more honest and more real with ourselves the more emotionally charged the situation is, or else you're gonna never walk.
Every
You're
yeah,
gonna
that's
time
a
never
I
walk.
appreciate you because I was just on a hot table last night, right? I'm over here talking to my parents, and boy, I'd be over here like, I don't know, man. I learned it from girlfriend because it's crazy how I like, but either really the one thing I could say is like you could really like detach yourself and see if it's other people, but then in your own situation, it's harder to see, you know.
Yeah,
Mm.
definitely.
Yeah.
It's definitely difficult. And yeah, no, there's a second-hand high from talking to this man on a daily basis that you get, and it's almost like a second-hand high of just straight emotional intelligence and emotional expertise and higher understanding, thinking, perspective. Sometimes I'd kind of compare the things that we'll be talking about, broski, to like CIA understanding that because it's all about taking yourself out of just being in yourself and actually watching at everything else that's around you. And that's one of the major things that spies and agents and CIA members they train about is making sure that they're not the center. Because if they're the center, then they're the target. You know what I'm saying? But I want to say big up to Dara Cooper and blessings that you were able to
Yes,
find your
I.
son. Blessings that you were
Yes.
able to find your son for sure.
Yes.
Big up to Glenn Burt, Geo in the chat, sneaky link. You know what I'm saying? You gotta drop the tune. But I am very proud of Zesha. Exceptionally proud of her. She had a message inside of the chat. It was a comment to say, if I'm being completely honest, I didn't know SWOT analysis was a thing, but it's naturally something I did think of trying to create my businesses. I only went into the hair game blindly and I had to give it a break because I didn't think of these things because I was so young, just thinking of money, which is everybody's natural instinct, you know. So just to make a little extra cash. However, taking a break and coming back, I had to definitely regroup with Exquisite, which is her bartending services. So everybody go check out Exquisite.
Mhm.
You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And if you need bartenders, very good bartenders, not the ones that are, pour you a little shot and then drown your drink with chaser, check out Exquisite. You know what I'm saying? I did a lot of thinking, a lot of conversations with friends who have businesses, not necessarily the same type of business, but just to see if my mindset was on the right path. I'm actually a little happy I tuned in.
Yes, sir. Very,
That's,
very grateful to hear that you tuned in and got something from it. But very great that you were able to kind of take some of these things and reflect deeply on it with your own business,
hmm
right? Because like that ties into like the next thing that's also important for anybody to make your own kind of analysis and any feedback really and truly great.
yeah,
Seeking external ideas, seeking
yeah,
external feedback on a particular thing, right? Because like when you in a particular mode, especially depending on where you at in life, right? Like the same things the Isha mentioned is the same thing I think a lot that we could like really relate to in regards to like just kind of starting up something at the prospect of like getting some coin. Even on my job right now, a lot of like the junior operators, them, it's the same exact thing. These men just solely focus on just stacking bread. So they only focus is gain as much overtime as they can because they stacking bread. They ain't thinking about anything else, right?
hmm
But like having external ideas or external feedback about other things that you could tap into, or even things that you might be doing that you ain't aware of that could be helping you and harming you,
hmm
is very important because it allows you to scale back and observe what it is that's happening, observe very specifically on how it's impacting you,
hmm
and allowing you to see how you could change course, right? Those are the kinds of conversations that allows you to go like, hey, you know, I really love doing this thing, it's my passion, but I find like I spin in my wheels about this thing and I don't know why. I have
hmm
no idea why. Having that kind of external feedback allows you to go from, hey, I'm really strong in this, but I don't know if I don't think I have any weaknesses, I think I'm really good at this thing, to being illuminated like, what? I actually am kind of full of shit with this thing. And I see how it's been impacting this, and this. And now that I realize that, I could give myself a chance to kind of sit back reevaluate everything from the original goal You might find that ain't vague enough or it no longer represents where you are.
Mm-hmm.
Revamp it. Look at your existing style, your existing strengths. Even looking at if them strengths solving you or leading you to a path that ain't solving you. And readjust. You know what I mean? Recalibrate what's going on. And the SWOT analysis, like it's a very great way of just looking at that because it like any visual allows you to pause and really suss out the scene that you know.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what make this thing so great, especially in conjunction with something like the Wheel of Life. So Zesha, since you are here catching up with the Mind Hack Moments, go ahead and check out episode 1, man. That's where we were talking about the Wheel of Life. So that's something that you can definitely use in concert with the SWOT analysis to help gauge different satisfaction levels in different parts of your life and compare it to, well, use the SWOT analysis to then kind of look at, all right, what I want to change, what do I need to take with me to help me maximize this thing? What do I need to address or even leave behind in your weaknesses, right? And what opportunities I have that I could go forward? What threats do I look out for that might keep me back?
Hell yeah. And just to give Aya a little bit of highlight and understanding, this is a type of expertise that Kefren have in terms of professional coaching. You know what I mean? These things are important, these tools that you might not know of that he has in his toolbox. You know what I'm saying? Zesha were able to add in a next comment, and I love the conversation that taking place right now. Just knowing that all of us were once just on campus just running around, pretty much doing nothing, throwing water balloons and getting
Yeah,
nothingness. You know what I mean? And then
yeah.
now it's like this is a very high level intellectual conversation about business. She said the SWOT analysis literally holds you accountable, which I agree. Accountability and having a business is a big thing, and holding yourself up to a standard, creating a space to really be something real profitable in the long run. Hell yeah. That's the concept. That's the concept. And but if your core is just making money, you're gonna always miss your concept and you're gonna always get lost and you're gonna always trip up and you're gonna always feel like you're stuck because business ain't always up. Business is like a lifeline. It goes up, down, then it paces and maintains for a little while, then up, down, up, down. There's seasons as we know it. So you have to have that true drive, that true love, that true passion, or just that true discipline. Sometimes you ain't gotta be happy in doing business in certain industries that you're doing business in. You know what I mean? But if you have the discipline, you could withstand the tolerance and you could withstand whatever you need to withstand to continue to persevere, which is why discipline is probably one of the biggest tools in your basket that you could ever have because you could overcome anything. You could overcome discouragement, you could overcome challenges, struggles, distractions through discipline. You know what I'm saying? But that's a whole nother story for another day. Either way, you are 100% right. It is a perfect accountability tool that if you take those same boxes, put the topics at the top, and write inside of those boxes everything. This is the only time I tell you to write. Being careful. But and you write inside of those boxes your exact strengths and your exact, different things, or even do it on a nice, like, little whiteboard and keep it somewhere that you could see it a lot. That way you could actually put your eyes to it and see it. And try not to visualize the threats too much. Try visualize the threats and transfer them over into opportunities. So what you want to start to do is looking at all your threats, and your threats is your targets or your tasks and your challenges and your objectives. Those are the things that you have to acquire, attain, or prepare for. And as long as you could acquire, attain, or prepare any one of those threats, you can move them over into opportunities. And you have to clear out your threats. As you clear out your threats, you're going to find new threats because with every opportunity comes also the opportunity to catch a fucking L. So you have to make sure that when you clear out your threat, you update your threat as well because you're moving into a new level. You wanna know what's funny? You ever realize how a lot of these things that actually still play into the video games that we to play, like these journey of the hero kind of games, like them MMR
The
PG game.
RPG game, them
Yeah, where you
absolutely
actually
done.
you attaining passive skills and passive
Yep,
activities, and every time you accomplish something, it might seem like, yeah, I got a new level or I got a new power, but boom, you find a new threat. You gotta move
yep.
on to
That
the
coming
next.
in proportion to the new thing you just get.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So once your threats clear out, just know your game done. So you should be dead. Your threat should never clear out because the game is never done. Find new threats. Because that's the whole point of having a business, is to have problems and solve them. Find new threats. Make sure you find new threats and keep converting those threats into opportunities and then moving them up to strengths. You know what I'm saying? And even find new weaknesses in yourself as well. Everything on the right hand side, you need to continue to find and move. Find and move. Find and move. That's the whole concept. So when it's all said and done,
Oh,
you
the
should
call
have
went
a
off.
find and
Hmm?
move.
Okay.
Around with this man. But yeah, so it's supposed to be like a shift all the time from right to left when it comes to this grid. But nah, 100%, I agree with it. And this is probably, I would say, in the last couple of episodes, this is one of the best tools my boy Kev Dog bring out, because that tool definitely could help you emotional intelligently, intellectually, logically. Like, you gonna have to expose yourself, because if you don't, it don't work, so it don't matter. You could try cheat it, but you ain't cheating nobody, because it's only you on a piece of grid and a paper. So who you
Yep.
cheating? You know what I mean? Write it down.
You.
And yeah, you
Yep.
cheating, you don't. Yeah, like they used to say in JRTC all the time, don't cheat your body. So yeah, man, same thing. Don't cheat yourself. Don't cheat yourself. You gotta treat yourself. You know what I'm saying? Spin the dice, shoot
Mm.
for a nick. You know what I mean? And then shoot twice. Get yourself a
Don't
nice
cheat
little.
yourself. You gotta treat yourself. All
Yeah, man.
right, brother.
Yeah, man. You know your boy get a
That'd
line
be a
from.
bar. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. You know your boy always gotta spit some hot fire, some flames. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man. Um, that's what it's all about, and that's where it should continue to stay. I definitely yawning for the day that SWOT analysis can actually be matched towards personal, and when I say personal, let me be very clear. Um, Romantic relationships. Um, I think, like, I still looking to see how that could be applied. Big ups to Zalon, you just joined the chat. I don't know why
Yes,
you
sir.
late. You should be on time all the time, big dad. No around. You ain't gotta catch a flight and hit you an uppercut. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? I waiting for the day that it could actually be applied
I
to
gotta
that,
say is
because I think
wow
that could help a lot
with
of
a
men.
lot of W's.
If we could find
Wow.
crack a code, whether it be creating a whole new graph in itself, and looking at how that could kind of, maneuver and work its way into more emotional aspects of analyzing the successes, weaknesses and opportunities and threats. Because dog, man, I need it, dog. Even the other day, big ups to you starting a new show with your wife, man. I love it. I love it. I love it, dog. From the time she checked you on that, I said, man, she ain't got gang
I
line,
have
dog.
troops, I have troops
That was
outside.
hard troops, dog. But a whole time I saying, oh gosh, me and this man in the same boat. That's crazy. I never thought I'd
Yeah,
see the
bro.
day that
That's
you're.
why I be trying to tell you, dog. You're not alone. You are
I never
not
thought
alone,
I'd see
dog.
the day. I was like, dude, why you stand out so low? Why you down here with me? What you doing here? I was like, my guy, he's the emotional intelligence man. What you doing? I swear, like, you doing picnics every day and picnics on the weekend and carrying out, you know what I mean? But then I realized, like, men are just men, dog. It don't matter. Like, you know what I mean? Men are just men, and women are women. So in their mind is like, that's like a, how to say it? For them, that part of relationships is almost like oxygen, dog.
Yeah,
Um,
like,
um,
dude,
yeah.
I think I represent a crab that is finally beginning to get out to the barrel. Like while everybody,
Mhm.
like pulling each other down, I I think I represent like the crab that somehow was able to like not draw attention to myself, to like begin to like climb out and be like, hey guys, there's a way. There's a way for us to finally get out of this thing. You check like this.
Yeah.
this is something that, like, this emotional intelligence journey is still a part of the most recent aspects of my life, dog. Like,
Mm.
bros wasn't like, again, you know me from college, dog. Bros were not on this type of time
Menace.
during that period. Yeah, just like,
Diabolical. Yeah, nah.
I was definitely a lot more insensitive and in like that line back then, even up to like 2019-ish, you know what I mean? So like, it really is a journey that I have been like steadily realizing is like important. And I immediately said like, yo, I gotta bring my people in with me, dog. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? But yeah, what that ultimately says is like, there are definitely some things I need
More work.
to uplift and improve upon, because like, yeah, the even the thing that we talk about in that podcast about the Valentine's Day thing, like I still like, dude, like, you are my wife, dog. Why do I need to ask you to be my
I
Valentine,
feel
dog?
feel it, right? I feel the same way. I don't say like, yo, that's a automatic, but and
Yeah,
then I can understand what he's saying, but that's a automatic, like
yeah. So
I
it's a
don't
lot.
understand none of
who
it, big man.
who
None
are
of it.
some
I
people?
don't.
Just the essence that you
It
asking, because originally before all this you were asking, and they used to do, but
Who, me?
like
No,
You
I
mean
think you
like,
mean in
the
general.
essence of like
oh,
just asking them to be the Valentine in the beginning,
oh
but
yeah, for
overall,
sure.
you're gonna be my Valentine, but
Man, we in this thing for a couple of years now. What around with you, man? What you about? Yeah, you wake up next to me. You mean who else? You- Who else? You just wake up next. Who else? What kind of wild monkey stuff? Dog,
Yeah.
sometimes I just be like, hey, yo, for real? Like this is this is a simulation I in right now. Like, yo, one of them aliens need to hit a next button and put me in a different simulation that because this is wild. Oh gosh, not a woman I'm in the chat.
yeah, yeah,
We
that was
done
still
get
a
we
pattern.
get a roll eyes. Thank God my wife in here. We get a roll eyes. Yeah, I mean from Nigeria. So she done like, you just illiterate. And then Zesha coming in, you crazy. It makes you feel like you still have effort and ask her in all caps. Ask her what?
Hey,
That's
but all of
that's
this still ties in to the development, right?
yeah,
Cause
no
like,
doubt.
all of this still go back into like the 360 feedback. Even though it
Mhm.
then in a situation where like it's kind of like jokes over like really evaluating and absorbing wherever, it still presents the opportunity like, hey, in this orientation of my skills and shortcomings, there's something that I'm not like seeing, or I'm
Mhm.
actively like fighting back against, so I ain't allowing myself to see it. And so like, it presents the opportunity to like really slow down and really kind of like suss out the impact, which happened in that very episode, right? So
Mhm.
folks, if y'all ain't see that yet, tap into the Healthy Relationship podcast, starting me and my wife, right? Where
The
we've
healthy
been,
relationship formula.
yes, yes,
The
yes, yes,
healthy
the
relationship
healthy, the healthy
formula.
relationship formula, right? So through our intimate and authentic conversations, we will show you how emotional intelligence plus joint behavior changes equals romantic prosperity, right?
But
And
go ahead.
yeah,
And
yeah, and like, being able to suspend your ideas, especially if they're combative, allows you to open yourself up to that feedback that will enhance everything that you get going on. You know what I mean?
what wrong with your partner, man? What wrong with Zelen? What be wrong with
I
this?
wanna know
What
whose side he on.
wrong with
Like
your
what?
partner? Hey, listen. Okay, so all of that is nice and all of that is fine and dandy, but listen, go to what I'm saying, the Healthy Relationships Formula podcast, get all that positivity for the relationship. But as of right now, on this side, we will work on individual situations. So, you know what I'm saying? We about to get in it. So get a load of some ignorance right now, because you know what I mean. Listen, I mean,
Brace
Zesha
yourself.
say, brace yourself. Zesha say, don't stop now because you have me. Who to walk in the store and buy the same item over and over and over and over, although they already have the item?
Mm. You may gotta use another analogy, dog.
Nah, dog, that's a right
Yeah,
analogy, dog. If you walk in the
yeah,
store, you buy the item, you get it. You buy it because you wanted it. That would a pursue. You buy it, you get it because you wanted it. You to go back to the store the next day and buy it and buy the same item. But no, you ain't picking up a new item, you know. So it ain't like you could clone, like you ain't cloning your girl. You already have the item. Because she said, don't stop. This is in terms of when she said, keep asking. Like every year, Valentine's Day, you got to ask, hey, you want to be my Valentine?
That
And it's
that
like,
that analogy a little shaky though, because you
the
don't go
man,
back
listen,
when
the
you
man, whose
when the
side are you
but wait,
on?
but for sure,
Whose
but
side are you on?
when the item done, right? Like let's say you gotta specify, because if you're buying food, you don't go back and buy egg again.
yeah.
You try,
That's why I try to tell you, you
you
have to
gotta
use
use a
something else,
different
dog.
one.
You
Man.
have to
Like,
use something else, dog.
jeez.
Reconvene. We're
Yeah.
gonna
Time out.
We're
reconvene
reconvening.
and
We're gonna,
and
wait,
think,
wait, wait,
cause
because Nigeria, like, she roasting me
she,
in the chat right
she's
now.
cooking you with these
Yeah,
items,
yeah,
dog.
yeah.
So yeah, yeah,
Roasting it,
yeah. So
roasting. But
we're gonna get back on track for sure, and we're gonna come back with something
I
new.
ain't never ever say ignorance was intelligent. So that's my that's my cop out. The
Yeah,
man, tell
Them
done, go home. Go home. What around with your party? Your party just come. What's going on, dog? But yeah, man.
yeah,
I think we're coming up to that time. It's about
yeah.
15 minutes
So
into it. And thank
yeah,
everybody for being in the chat. Chat kind of store up a little late and get active a little late, but we still appreciate it. I don't appreciate being roasted, but we still appreciate it. You know what I mean? Zeldon, you fake. I just want to say, Zeldon Hicks the third, Bartholomew, you are fake.
Zealous.
Yeah, man. Zella fake
hey,
bad. Zella fake bad.
hey,
And big up to Wallow for sliding in the chat. You sliding a little late, big dog, but you sliding in the chat nevertheless. You
yeah.
know what I
You
mean?
can
So
always
big
go
up
back and rewatch it, man. It gonna be up your wallow.
to Wallow ain't watching that for.
Watch it.
Watch it,
Oh.
Wallow. Watch it.
You never know what he gonna do. Watch it, dog. Just watch it. So,
Alright.
Yeah, man.
but yeah,
All right.
I'll do the SWOT analysis. That is the assignment for this podcast.
Hmm.
Yes, sir.
Simple. Do the SWOT analysis. You have the picture. I will even send an article in there to help refresh on what it is you expect to do so that you
Mm-hmm.
could do it on your own. Compare
Yes,
it
sir.
to a particular goal, project, initiative, whatever you want to like do. Keep in mind that the more emotionally invested the topic is, the harder it might be for you to actually really be honest about what's going on, especially when it comes to the harmful side. So it's
Hmm.
important that you come clean with yourself and step up for yourself because
Mm-hmm.
ain't nobody else going to do it for you. You check, do the
100%.
SWOT analysis, look out for that article,
Mm-hmm.
and that's all I get for today, man.
Yeah, man. Telling you, give
Yes,
thanks for
sir.
sliding through.
Give thanks for
As
sliding
always.
through. All
As
right, we'll
always.
catch you on the next one.
Yes, sir. Look out for the next one.